Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 of Hellraisers versus the 4 anchors and the Sea Captain. Ready to get underway. HR slapping them down in game number 1. Let's see if the anchors can converge and follow their captain to find a victory here in game number 2 and stay alive in the European pre-qualifier for the Summit 3. I'm Zyori, joined again by Kotlguy. Dakota, what's the good word coming into game 2, my man?
The good word is Shadow Fiend is pretty freaking good on Hellraisers. I was told by residential statsman Nahaz Dota, make sure you check him out, on his Twitter at Nahaz Dota, that Afo Ninja Shadow Fiend coming into last match was already undefeated in this patch, 11-0, now 12-0, better than most any other pro player. In comparison, Arteezy Shadow Fiend 13-2. He's looking to get 13-0 here with this matchup as they first pick the Shadow Fiend. 4 anchors looking to bounce back after their intriguing and interesting draft of last game, and they are going to open up once more with Enigma, this time following it up with the Skywrath Mage.
Okay, so the Sea Captains with a pretty similar opener here. They went first pick Enigma now 2 games in a row. That is a bit peculiar. Did not work for them last game, and they're not going to fix what's broken.
Yeah, it goes pretty greedy, and if Hellraisers choose to do so, which last time they didn't, you know, they could invade the jungle and give them a bit of a hard time there, but that's not going to be the case. There's a lot of potential counters out there when you get this early Enigma. I mean, like Rubik. They got Clockwork last time, who could definitely get into the mix from afar out. And, of course, Vengeful Spirit, regardless of BKB or not. Later into the game, her swap range, she'll just... Oh, cool black hole you got there, sir. Mind if I just swap places with you real quick and just kind of ruin your parade? And that's all it takes. Hellraisers, man. They're an experienced group. You're not going to just casually go by with your run-of-the-mill drafts. You have to make sure that you have all your bases covered.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make sense of this first pick Enigma. One of the issues with grabbing the Enigma so early is it's known for being greedy. Folks know how you're going to play it. It's possible to counter. It's possible to shut down through invading the jungle and early aggression. It reveals a lot of your hand, and that's why I'm curious as to why they would first pick him 2 games in a row, especially after the first game went as poorly as it did. Hellraisers will ban out the Sniper now, as you mentioned, traditionally a good matchup for at least at some point for the Sniper. Didn't really happen at all that game, but still not going to mess around with him. For ASC, they take out the Sand King, a nice greedy support to prevent the Hellraisers from matching their greed with superior greed.
And the Casual Brood, not looking for anything to really surprise them this go-around, I suppose. I guess Trixie has played Brood from time to time, so it's not too shabby, but there's still some offlaners to be grabbed. They've already banned out the biggest, baddest boys of them all, getting rid of Axe Batrider, but still potential options there, and we'll have to see. Jug's going to get banned out, or there's no Troll. Before I could even say it, damn, come on, man, I could have looked so good there. I was going to say Troll was ignored, but quickly gets snagged up before I could even finish the thought there from 4 anchors, somehow making his way to the second phase of picks, and Night Stalker is going to be almost an immediate response from Hellraisers, a hero we don't see a whole lot often, just more of a niche pick. And with Shadow Fiend already grabbed up, this Night Stalker, really, where will he go? Safe lane, off lane, I've seen him all over the place. It could end up running duels, but this is just kind of fitting with the Hellraisers go, go, go kind of attitude and looking to play a little bit extra aggressive.
Yeah, very curious where they'll run this Night Stalker. Could just be Gordiat settled to the off lane. Could be on the 4 as well. I always like to bring that up. We've seen it across the last 2 patches at least. Some Night Stalker can play that 4 position with a Vengeful Spirit. Could be the beginnings of an aggro tri-lane. Very potent at the 4-minute mark. You just flip a switch and you become a big bad Night Beast. But here you go. 4 anchors strike back with something equally interesting as last game. They'll grab Lina.
The Night Stalker 4 position definitely has been done before. The first time I really saw it somewhat successful was back in Summit 2 NA Quals, just because I was doing most of that, so that's probably one of the pools I always refer to, but it was your boy JC on Root Gaming. He used to run it a lot in the 4 position, and it definitely caught teams off guard. Lean to that grab, heavy burst potential regardless of your fancy BKBs or whatnot. Could be their mid lane matchup to contest the Shadow Fiend, a matchup we don't see a whole lot, but many players have praised how Lina can be a lane dominator, And if given the opportunity to snowball out, she could find the kills and find her way. Hellraisers, though, immediately respond to what could be potentially a lot of lockdown, silence, with a bad, more defensive kind of support. And, well, seems pretty formidable. They do have a lot of melee, however, on the side of Hellraisers. Oh, no, they don't. They have Shadow Fiend there, but it's just looking pretty well balanced, I guess, from Hellraiser's side. They just pretty much need to round things out with what I imagine being their safe lane farmer. Yeah. And then for 4 anchors here, they need something to also... Well, they need some meat. They need some frontliners here. Lina and Troll have a nice bit of synergy with their spicy attack move speed, or attack speed, rather. But they need someone who can kind of play on the front and be the focus fire for this team.
Yeah. What are the options for 4ASC here to round this draft out? I think this Hellraisers lineup is really scary. Nightstalker and Abaddon together, very potent. Nightstalker already can be hard to deal with, especially in that first 10 minutes when he's very strong, notorious for having high effective HP, high starting armor, strength hero. You've got an Aphotic Shield on top of that to cleanse him so he can run amok, and also a Mistcoil just to back him up. He could really get out of control. Heroes like Lina, Skywrath, Enigma, just food for the Nightstalker during that the first 2 night times in particular. And that's a stage of the game where Troll doesn't really want to fight either. You know, he wants to sit in the lane, get his core items going, kind of get his farm up to that point where he becomes a bit scary. So for ASC, they need to be careful about this last pick. They need somebody tanky, but they also need someone that can actually skirmish a little bit and kind of deal with this Nightstalker once he wants to start moving around.
Yeah, and also wouldn't have too much trouble being potentially silenced. So, I don't know, Tidehunter, yeah, seems like kind of a safe grab, but a lot of players recently haven't found him to be too tasty of a pick, saying that, going as far as saying, quote, he's shit. So, and ever since that, to be honest, ever since that video, I haven't even seen a Tidehunter picked up. So,
you know, I haven't either. I think
he's that trendy of a game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's a go-to offlaner, but I think he's okay. I think the Watermelon can hold his own. The Ravage is still a pretty good spell.
There's like a meeting, and they're like, guys, Tidehunter's shit now. No one play him. Like,
oh,
okay.
You didn't get the message? No, he's dumpster. Don't even bother.
Okay.
Stop scrimming. All right,
time. We're done. Even though the Wombo combo is there, it was only a TI factor where you had Enigma and tied together, and it won games. It just shows how much this involves. But Spirit Breaker,
they take a totally different approach here, but they get something to deal with BKBs if this game lasts long enough for BKBs to come out. The first game of the series certainly didn't. But some tempo controlling, and another notoriously high effective HP hero. So this is one that can actually tango with the Nightstalker. Around that 4 or 5 minute mark, SB can charge out a lane and at least start throwing that lantern around. Try and show the Nightstalker who's the boss around here. Bring a little light to the night, huh?
I like that. I like that.
I mean,
but with that, though, it is good global presence. It keeps you thinking. But I feel like there's enough of a strong defense behind Hellraisers that they almost could bait Spirit Breaker into a bad situation. Having that succulent, sweet little bit of that vengeful spirit out in the lane seems like just an easy grab, but then they can quickly turn things right around. So I'm not fully convinced by the Spirit Breaker pick quite yet. It seems kind of like almost that Pudge-esque thing here for 4 anchors in hopes that maybe it's something that can kind of catch Hellraisers off guard a bit. But I don't know, still a pretty formidable, solid, clean-cut lineup from Hellraisers here. I also apparently did, I don't know how much, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but someone did say that the Walrus icon Kalu is actually Matumba Man. But
okay, so Walrus Man is Matumba Man, and the long 2 name is Trixie, presumably. I mean, Trixie has been playing the safe lane mostly.
Okay.
So I don't know. It was more just that word was very similar to Trixie's real name. That was kind of what threw me off. It's hard to guess, man. It's hard to guess.
Hey, I'm right there with you. What can we do? We are, but I can't. What?
I know you guys think that I have this power to read minds and just know by the play styles, by the heroes, who is exactly doing what. But alas, I do not have that magic ability. I wish I did. I wish I could just know.
Suppose before each game starts, we could simply right-click every player name, go into their Steam profile, hope it's not private, which usually it is, check through the aliases, write it down, put the notes all together. Everyone's ready to start the game. Hold on a second. I have 8 more players to look through here. Okay. all right, that's that person, you know. But when the ticket is going to be released, which I believe is the next official patch, which should be very soon, the players will hopefully be, you know, all synergized with their proper team name.
Yeah, until the ticket's in the store, guys, it will be free to watch in the client if you can find the match. Will not really be tagged up. The ticket, like Dakota said, should be in with the next big patch, but time will tell. Valve time, so we are at their behest. Tickets will not be on the Summit 2 ticket. A lot of people were asking us about that. Don't worry. If you didn't buy the Summit 2 bundle ticket, don't bother, because you won't need it to watch Summit 3 games. It'll be free, or it'll be the Summit 3 ticket. So, yeah, woohoo! Party on, man.
Free Dota. A free-to-play game, free to watch, free to enjoy. And, well, Four Anchors look pretty free in game number 1. They're looking to bounce back here and even things up because Hellraisers, it's match point for them. This is a single elimination bracket here between these 8 teams. There's only 2 spots to move on to phase number 2. Many people were a bit anxious about the fact that Hellraisers were immediately moved on forward, but we're confident they're a strong enough team. I don't think there should be too much question that they should be able to waltz their way onto the phase number 2.
You're like that they deserve at least to be in phase 1. Yes, that's definitely true. No, I mean that whole thing. We're going to talk about it in the studio coming up today after the EU broadcasts are done. But you know, the thing that people forget is, one, you have to draw the line somewhere, and there's always going to be that gray area of, does this team really deserve to be on that side of the line? The other is, remember, folks, things change very quickly in this scene, in this industry, in terms of teams, their rosters, how they're performing, and you got to make these invites months in advance. It's not just like, oh yeah, we decided yesterday these are the best teams. A lot of this gets prepared months in advance, and teams have to approve it and accept and all this kind of stuff. So there's a little more to it than just who are the top teams right now as soon as this qualifier starts. But again, we'll talk about that coming up in our podcast later today.
Awesome. So be sure to check that out for all the information. But let's talk about this game at hand here. Four Anchors desperately need to struggle some wins together. I'll lead off our introductions here. On the dire side, it's the Hellraiser guys looking pretty damn strong. Artez is going to be playing your Bristle back in the top lane as he's going to be working with Mad Dog on an engagement to Kalu here, or I believe is Matumbo Man. Right now, body block, body block, body block. Whoa! Very nicely done. Vengeful Spirit Man. Good exhibition. Is going to force him to go into his early regen. Mid lane, Afo Ninja, undefeated in this patch on his Shadow Fiend, absolutely dominant. You'd think that the matchup would have been not in his favor in the last game against the Sniper, but he shows how good his Shadow Fiend actually is. And for bottom lane, we got Dread, streaming popular Phenom, is going to be playing your Abaddon, and that leaves Mr. 111, 111, or I believe Trixie, as you said, playing your Night Stalker.
That is Gordietz. Trixie's on the other team, but...
all right, whatever.
That's okay. That's okay. That's good. That's good. So we've got Sumali Romponen. That is probably Trixie here, their safe lane farmer. He'll get a little aggressive on the Night Stalker, but there's nothing a little Aphotic Shield can't take care of. He'll be here on the Troll. You got Boogie. He's on the Skywrath Mage. Volix. He'll be on the Enigma in the mid. Or in the jungle, rather. In the mid lane, Nemphy will take the Lina against the Shadow Fiend, and up top, Kalu, he's getting aggressive onto the Mad Dog. Could this be your first blood? The Lantern, one more Lantern is all he needs, but he can't find it. Now Mad Dog pops a Clarity. They'll try to turn it around. That's a magic missile. He's got the Charge of Darkness up in about 2 seconds. Mad Dog, you're playing with fire, my man. He's eating through the trees. Oh, Kalu, he gets the charge. That's the first blood to the Space Cow, but it's going to cost him his life as Affin Ninja comes in, pokes him with the rays.
Much worth. Screams out Spearbreaker as he goes down to the earth. Gets that first blood bonus right there. He'll take that with himself back to the lane. But who was it who got the kill there at the end? Was it Afo Ninja? It was. Oh, man. I don't know now. Now he has that much more of a boost in the mid lane. But look at this.
Look at his souls all of a sudden. Yeah, that's 22 Necromastery. That is scary. So Lena's probably thinking, well, that was really great. Nice first blood and all, but now my lane is screwed. So now you're going to have to gank for me.
He jumps in like, I'll help you out, don't worry, and they actually get it done.
All right.
Get the return kill. There's Spearbreaker. No one expects a Spearbreaker to be ganking that early, but hey, props to Kalu / Matama Man. And what was once maybe a potential disadvantage for the mid lane is quickly flipped around as a 180.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, down in the bottom lane, looks like Gordiet's taking some decent harassment. Will grab himself a healing salve, and he'll be okay. This game looking a lot better for 4ASC than the last one did. Shadow Fiend getting at least ganked this early on. That's a step in the right direction. I like this play from the Spirit Breaker to move around already. Kalu charging all over the place. Finds the Mad Dog as he moves towards the top lane. Gets him down to about half health. Has that Orb of Venom slowing him down a good bit. Shadow Fiend postures his way over towards the rune, and Kalu's not done yet. He's chasing the Mad Dog to Timbuktu as he makes it back to the tower.
Constant pressure there. Keeps Hellraisers thinking, but you are also allowing Artez to farm up. He's charging again, man. He's just like, Afro Ninja, screw you, man. Charging right on forward, bashes him back, is going to force out the rotation. Emphy is just a bit too deep for me to commit. Now the races are going to be there, and the cow, well, he gets served up. Filet, bacon wrapped, gorgonzola cheese on top with a little bit of that baked potato flavor on the side. Why not, right?
They're going to keep moving down towards the bottom lane. The troll, he's farming. But is he going to survive? It's officially nighttime. Goriet's only level 3, but ready to go, cruising on in, slowing him down best he can. Abaddon on his horse, trying to close the gap, but this troll just a little too speedy. Here we go. The tower dive begins. A Phonic Shield already been taken off. Now the charge across the map. The Night Stalker, he might get punished for this hyper-aggression. The charge still very far away, and I think he'll make it back to safety before the Space Cow comes cruising on in. Or will he? He goes back to Rice. He's trying to kill some creeps. Now the healing salve comes out, but it's not going to get the full duration off before the cow comes cruising in. He cancels it. Doesn't want to dive the tower. Kalu, whoever you are, Matumba Man, Trixie, you mystery devil. Not going to find a charge off that one, but already level 4. Really having a pretty good time considering he is the dedicated off-laner for the Anchors.
Yeah, if you're not going to be dedicated to your lane, find the XP there, you better find it making bloodshed across the map. So, and better get it done while you can before Bristle becomes too much of a problem, because he is currently your CS head right now at 24-3, though Lina just behind. A better showing here from Nemphy in this mid lane matchup as opposed to the previous game. But oh, I say that, he gets raised up to high hell there, brought down to about a third life already. But Afro Ninja constantly with Spirit Breaker off the map has to kind of second-guess his commitments here. Spirit Breaker has been parked behind this mid-tier 1 now for what feels like 3 minutes. And now he's going to get spotted, potentially. Mad Dog right there. So, hey, what the hell?
Oh, there we go.
Out from the dart, and they make the go. Oh, wow, there's a Laguna Blade, and they're able to finish him off, but the rotation's there. Dredge shows up too late to save his ally. Now Spirit Breaker could be in trouble. Nope. He's going to be fine. Hey, look at this. 4 Anchors now take down Afro Ninja once more, and they are ahead 4-3.
They certainly are. Great setup there in the mid lane, and hiding behind the trees like that is one of the best ways you can play the Spirit Breaker early on, because, hey, there's no way wards are going to scout you out when you're hiding in the fog like that. Nice setup with the Laguna Blade, and now they'll just go right back into Artez. Will Artez be able to survive this? It's not looking good. He takes a Light Strike Array from the backside. No Dragon Slave, but, oh, that Troll Warlord laying in the right clicks. One more Quill Spray, and I think that Troll would have been dead. Close call indeed, but they get the kill, and Kalu, come on now. There we go. So I was just going to say, Bristle this whole time has been very quiet farming away, but 4ASC have done a very good job moving around the map and not letting these free farmers get too much momentum. Bristle, well, he's getting a little bigger, but good time to gank him before Vanguard comes out or anything else like that.
Also being quiet has been Goriet's on Night Stalker. It's been nighttime now for almost 3 minutes. I think he's just going to pass over the whole first night before he feels comfortable enough to really adventure out there. There's a Spirit Breaker on the loose. That's a bit funky for me, but I say that now he ventures away from the lane a little bit, but still haven't seen a whole lot from your Night Stalker, but he has been investing that time instead on defining his farm. He's almost level 6. Now he's got his bottle. Magic Stick even has a couple of charges in case he does want to get a bit aggressive. He always has that to fall back on, but for now, waiting to unleash his fury.
Yeah, definitely. This first night cycle coming to an end pretty soon here. I don't think Goriet's got as much out of it as he would have liked, but that first night, often a time when you have to stay a little more quiet. Artez getting a very aggressive in the top lane. It's going to be a charge from across the map. It's like he's playing as if there's no Space Cow. Oh my. Artez. Sell your ticket on the feed train, my man. That's not where you want to be. It's not going to your proper destination.
Nope, not at all. So Spirit Breaker seems to be paying off. Definitely a lot better than the Pudge did in the previous game. Now they bust ahead 6-3. Afro Ninja takes the time to work in the jungle a bit to build up a little bit of extra farm. Looks like he has his power treads just about complete, if not already. Heads back towards the mid lane. Nemphy with Laguna Blade back up and at the ready. They could look for another kill. And the benefit of 4 Anchors is they still have Valix, who's been farming pretty nicely on his Enigma. He's level 6, 8 minutes in. It's not your dream start for Enigma, but he's got Black Hole up and at the ready.
He sure does. What can he do with it? Last game, he was pretty liberal with that first one. Just moved into lane, tried to make some kills happen. We'll clear out the trees here. And, oh boy, Mad Dog and Alpha Ninja just scouting it out on the high ground. They're ready to hop on in and gank this Enigma. How long do they want to wait, though, is the question.
They also see this troll.
Oh,
they've got
a ward down. Yeah, there you go. They know where he is. Shadow Fiend pops the haster, and there you go. He goes cruising about. The Wave of Terror actually misses, but Shadow Razors will connect, and the Troll Warlord gets brought down as Alpha Ninja gets a little bit of extra gold to his name. He needs it, too. His farm is not nearly as strong as it was in Game 1. Still number 1 on net worth, but that mech going to come out at a much slower timing. Now Nymphy may be in some trouble.
There comes Shadow Fiend, hasted, but they're not going to look to engage. And yeah, just to give you an idea of how ridiculous the hitbox is on Wave of Terror, I also thought that missed. It actually didn't. I clicked on the icon there. Just a big AoE spread. But here we go. Top lane. Artez can be in trouble. Let's go for the dive. Turn back charge, and they will take him down.
Crazy bastard. Why is he solo diving a tower against 4? What is he doing?
Well, he thought it was just a space cow, but just nearby, they came out of the woodwork.
Was it a trap? Did he spring the trap card?
I guess it was convenient timing for 4 anchors to have help nearby, and yeah, he got baited in.
All right, Artez, he's got to pump the brakes a little bit here. He keeps trying to dive this tower, and it's like, Bristleback is tanky, yes, but at these early levels, you're not that unstoppable force that you'll become. And this has really hurt his momentum. Look at his farm all of a sudden. He is bottom of the list in terms of net worth for the cores. His CS is pretty good. He was top of the charts. He's middle of the pack on that front, but all these deaths are really costing him now. 0, 3, and 1. Ooh, mid lane. Dread getting charged up. Looks like Space Cow's just using it as a little bit of a taxi service as he makes it back towards that mid-tier 1 tower. So 7-4, Radiant side in the lead. They've got about a 1,200 gold and 2,000 net worth, or pardon me, experience lead for themselves. Oh, gank on the troll. He's low from farming in the jungle. That's an easy pick-off for Gordietz. Comes in and well, just hits him with a void.
All right, first bloodshed for your Night Stalker here, and it wasn't even nighttime, so always a bonus for him with the assistance there of Vengeful Spirit. They have had eyes, though, on this mid lane as 4 anchors. Laguna Blade's up. They want that frickin' Shadow Fiend. They're trying to find an opportunity to open up, but they have constantly had Dread nearby as that babysitter, and he's not going to allow anything to happen, so not an easy target. Now it's Hellraisers going more on the offensive here. It's about 1 minute 15 seconds till the next nightfall, and I think that's when things could go a bit too crazy. But here we go. Stun's going to be catching. The cow looking to turn on back. Is going to be silenced up. Earn going to be flying on out. Nighttime going to be dropped. He bumps him back. Charges on forward. Mad Dog could be in trouble here. Big Nether Strike is going to connect. Earn could finish him off, but the heal's there. And he's being forced to TP. He withdraws, makes it out before they're able to catch him, and there will be no bloodshed.
Yeah, cute play from the Space Cow. Just moved to the high ground to TP out, knowing that they wouldn't have vision of him, but they had nothing to interrupt him with anyway. Venge too low on mana for the magic missile, and he makes it out to safety. Now, Gordietz does have the point booster, so moving into an Aghanim Scepter, it looks like. Darkness still online. Will get a bit aggressive, but Gordietz, you're deep in enemy territory. They've got friends nearby. Black Hole from Volix connects on 2. Dread is level 6, so he will have a borrowed time. Maybe that'll be enough to secure his survival. Malphite coming in to slow him down just a bit. Lina will get killed while we're watching this. And, alright, he'll be able to TP out just fine. So they trade the Bristle for Lina in the mid lane as we were watching that fight break out into the jungle. It ends as a 1-for-3 trade. And I'm waiting for this team fight recap to try and help us out here, even though it just
it was a 1-for-3.
Yeah, it's only interested in the Night Stalker death. So, alright, we'll move on. And, well, just as HR pull into the lead for ASC, strike right back.
Lina finally got a hold of that pesky Shadow Fiend with her Laguna, and he got bursted down immediately, and Artez, seeking vengeance, I suppose, tried to go more of a 2-on-1, him being the one, of course, and he gets bullied into submission. So, 4 anchors, man, this is a nice turnaround from the previous game. They got a lot of momentum building up for themselves. Now your Spirit Breaker able to pick up a DD. He could charge on to the next target he sees here, but it is nighttime now. We'll have to be careful, but look at this full 5-man potential rotation towards the top lane. While that happens, Alpha Ninja is not near help. He needs it, because here comes the charge. Double damage. Nether Strike's going to connect. He is done for. LSA also strikes, and your Shadow Fiend goes down. Domination, I almost want to say, continues here for 4 anchors.
Can they punish it? Nymphy tried to fog a little. He doesn't have a TP for 30 seconds. And Gordietz, oh boy, it's nighttime. That means the Night Stalker is going to be able to easily chase him down. They'll trade 1-for-1. Both mid-cores die. Obviously better for 4ASC as Lina gets some XP pardon me, for the kill on Shadow Fiend, and, well, Dread getting a kill, not really ideal, but still a nice recovery. Artez going in onto Volix. I think Volix this time around in a lot of trouble. Artez should feel pretty safe about diving this one.
He pops his mech, he's still alive, and then one more Quill is going to be all it takes to bring him down. At that same moment, though, Bristle was also able to get a hold of a nice little support Vengeful Spirit. His streak continues there. But Hellraisers, they continue to press on this top lane. Tower has plenty of life left to work with here. Dread looking to get involved as well. Only person on the scene to defend for now, at least, is Boogie.
Yep, he'll rotate on up, but there's the charge from Spirit Breaker right onto Artez. TP to the backside of the tower. It'll be Nymphy working on that Yule Scepter. Does the Cow go for it? Nope, he backs on up after the charge feels a little too deep. So it really feels like the 4 Anchors are in control of this game, but their lead is not really that big. Still sub 1,500 in net worth and only about 2,000 XP. Certainly recoverable for the Hellraisers. Shadow Fiend still farming pretty nicely, and Kalu, he may get punished here. He does have a charge available once this silence expires. He will survive the initial round, and now the swap back. They've got the damage, down he goes, but Mad Dog may have to pay with his life. Arcane Bolt, Boogie doing some damage, but another Aphotic Shield keeps him alive. They turn it on to Boogie and bring down the Skywrath. 2-0 already, but they find Nymphy. And during the nighttime, you do not want to square up against the Stalker. That's going to be a 3-0 as Lina Inverse gets taken out alongside this creep wave in the top, opening up for this push into the Tier 1 tower.
Well, any advantage that 4 Anchors had at the start, Hellraisers are looking to take right back with that huge engagement and now going on the Tier 1 tower. Thankfully, 4 Anchors, in the meantime, did have their Troll farming up quite a bit. Still has just the Morbid Mask on top of already his Phase Boots. Maybe could ninja himself into a Rosh in the near future, but it's not going to be enough to put up a solid team fight there in the top lane, not having him there. And with that, Hellraisers looking to take this game back. I would say we're pretty much square even, 12-11 as far as kills go. Checking over the team net worth, though, it has swung right back into Hellraisers now, 1,500.
Yeah, the biggest lead HR have seen this game, and just like that, it just takes one team fight to make it happen. Now down at the bottom lane, Gorietz will get initiated on from a long-range charge. Whirling axes of both the melee and ranged kind will connect, but hey, that's an Abaddon. Miscoil, Aphotic Shield, that'll keep him safe, and now Gorietz, he wants to get aggressive. He sees Kalu, hits him with a silence. It's still nighttime. The Night Stalker swinging those claws left and right. Have to hit him with another silence here, perhaps can't get it in time, and the Spirit Breaker will charge away. Oh, but it gets canceled. Now he's on the run, and he's in a lot more trouble than he was moments prior. That's a kill on the Cow. They'll turn him into burgers, as that officially ties it up 12-12 at the 16-minute mark.
I want to say he tried to charge a creep in the mid lane, and it was denied or taken away from Afo Ninja, but unfortunately didn't look over there in enough time. But with that kill now, it's Hellraisers feeling pretty confident about moving into the Rosh Pit, and certainly with the additional minus armor coming out from Mad Dog, shouldn't take too much effort. So with that and Shadow Fiend in hand, they're going to look to bring down the big boy while 4 Anchors go objective gaming here in the top lane.
Oh yeah, Big Papa Roche not feeling so strong against that sticky goo from the Bristleback. He's going to lose some armor, and now he's going to run out of HP as well. That's going to be an Aegis of the Immortal going the way of the Dire. Who picks it up? It is Afin Ninja. All right, drops his TP scroll. The Shadow Fiend will get a second life. Meanwhile, in the top lane, 4ASC at least get an objective that they trade for Roche. They get the Tier 1 tower top, making the total tower count now 2-2, tying it up once more. Kalu uses his charge in the mid lane to farm a creep. Thought they may try to converge and punish that, but Mad Dog can't get there in time.
It's daytime now, so this is 4 Anchors' time to really try to get the most out of the map. They still have yet to really use that black hole. But they had
one black hole, right? Didn't they get a kill on the Bristleback or somebody with it? I think they used it one. Maybe, I don't know. I think they did it once, but no, we haven't seen any like massive big team fight black holes. Maybe I'm just thinking about last game, and I'm projecting some wishful thinking here onto the 4 Anchors, so we don't see back-to-back sub 20-minute games. Yeah, it might be my bad. Anyhow, we're going to see some more tower exchanging. HR lose their top tier 2. They move right into the tier 2 mid. Glyph on it's already been used. Now the charge from across the map is flying in, but Boogie, he's going to get swamped. The Mad Dog helps set up that kill. Still getting charged, but he's already Aphotic shielded, so feeling pretty safe. Kalu goes charging right into the team. The mech comes out, and now nowhere for the Cow to go. Regretting that charge just a little bit as his team watches him die, and they are forced to watch that tier 2 tower go down here in their mid lane.
Hellraisers, half of them feel like maybe they can continue pressuring this mid lane. The other half maybe consider going towards top, clearing out at least the rest of these tier 2s while they have the benefit of the Aegis on their side. But it looks like let's just kind of take a breather here. Top lane's pushed actually pretty far in favor of 4 anchors, so they got to clear that mess out a bit, and then they can go back on the objective side of things. But you know, regardless, even if we see a black hole or not, the nice thing with your Enigma is always just having that opposing threat. But hold on. Mid lane, they get the Yules. Artez could be in trouble. The one who lagged behind, unfortunately, is the one who gets picked off. And the Bristleback will go down. And a pickup there for Enigma.
Yeah, not bad. Kill on the Bristleback, certainly something they'll take. I think 4ASC will take anything they can get at this point. It's about 1,000 net worth gain for them across the team. But yeah, we're seeing the biggest lead this game. 4,000 gold and XP going the way of the Dire. They're trying to stack up some Ancients, but it will get scattered out here. Mad Dog initiated on by the Yules, and they've got plenty of follow-up damage now. They'll just try and jack the Ancients. It's only a double stack, so not the end of the world. And the Night Stalker will just TP out.
With that, look at 4 anchors now, looking to take away a small stack here. They'll get what they want. Hellraisers sweeping through their own jungle know that Spirit Breaker's potentially nearby, in fact pinged out. He does thankfully have his charge. He should be able to make it away in case trouble's there. A Yule's picked up by Dread. Pretty farm to Baden, if I say so myself, with picking up all those towers in the Roche.
I mean, he's 2-0 and 6 also. That helps the bottom line.
Uh-oh, they get him. There's the Yules. Can I see a Wombo? Boom! See you later from Existence. That is a charred piece of meat right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shadow Fiend, he's getting big. He's got a Yasha to go with that mech. He's still holding on to the Aegis. Has about 2 minutes left on it. Going to be expiring rather soon here. I don't think HR really care all too much. I think they're happy just to have the objective, have the second life if needed, but I don't think this will really encourage them to get hyper-aggressive and, you know, take a huge amount of unnecessary risk. Enigma also picks up the Blink Dagger. Has not been revealed yet. So could be some possibilities for the anchors to catch him off guard and try and make it happen. They'll find Nemphy, always invisible, but they've got a gem. Night Stalker's picked it up, and, well, that's just going to be a freebie. Not much Nemphy can do. He'll use the Yules, but Shadow Rays ready and waiting to finish him off as he comes back down.
So Hellraisers, what looked like a bit of a shaky start. Pretty much the ball's back in their court at this point as they pressure across the map. 4 anchors now. Bit of a threat here towards the mid lane. Meanwhile, the rest of Hellraisers kind of dealing with the bottom here. Still feeling pretty good for them. Don't feel like they quite have enough muscle power to really break into the 4 anchors base. 4 anchors, man, you're looking at this kind of a game and you're banking on maybe some sort of big turnaround here. Pickoff's not going to be as easy at this point. You can't just put a lot on your Spirit Breaker to try to find those kind of plays where you can set things up. But maybe just hoping that they could turn things around on the back of a big black hole and Troll really going off the rails.
How is Troll's farm looking now that you bring that up? HOD and working on an SNY, still not really that scary. Like, his farm is in that stage where it's good, not great. It's baseline, it's passable, but it's not even close to this Shadow Fiend. FNJ is still an absolute monster, and I guess the only thing the Troll can do for now is hit him with Whirling Axes, go for the blind effect, and make the Shadow Fiend's right clicks a little bit less potent, but he still has all that magic damage. The double Requiem plus all the Shadow Raises alone was more than enough for HR to have the damage they need to take a fight. But Enigma Blink, this could be the debut here, Dakota.
There's the charge forward, immediately Yulesed up, and the raise to follow, and now it's your Spirit Breaker who could be caught out. Slowed down the ghouls there. LSA's going to help him out, and they turn back. There's going to be your Black Hole, catches on 4. Laguna Blade follow-up, it forces out the mech. They're going to live for now. He goes to the high ground, pops out the Requiem. Does a little bit of damage. Artez in trouble. The Troll is still able to dish out the right click, swap back for the save, but the Yules is going to be there. And now he goes down. It's 4 anchors on top. They're going to be able to take down a third with Mad Dog, and they get it right there. Oh, unbelievable. Afo Ninja gets his own killing spree, turns back, finishes off the cow, and they retreat. Kalu
did so much work that fight. He zoned out the Shadow Fiend the entire engagement. That was like Shadow Fiend and Abaddon trying to solo this Spirit Breaker, who was just playing Ring Around the Rosie, trying to stay alive, and that opened up plenty of opportunity to lock down the Bristle and finish him off. Bristle still isn't really that tanky. He's got a Crimson Guard, that helps, but I feel like just a casual cloak could go a long way for him as well. Until that Laguna gets upgraded, it'll help mitigate some of that. But even just helping with the damage from the Sky Wrath and everything else Lina has, and the Light Strike and the Dragon Slave would really up his EHP. Simply put, I think HR can't afford to have their Shadow Fiend just tunnel visioned on the tankiest hero of 4ASC. They need him up in the middle of the fight. The Requiem was good, but they need those right clicks to focus down the Lina, the Skywrath, all those squishy heroes on the backline that did a huge amount of damage.
Yeah, I feel like Hellraisers just need to make sure they don't get too sloppy and too overconfident with where they are in this game. I still feel like they're well on ahead. You see your Scotty now complete on your Shadow Fiend. Agnums has been done on Goriettes. They can kind of use this now as a nice tool to just kind of take control back of the whole map. Maybe even sneak in an early gem, deward, and at that point they can approach 4 Anchors on their terms. Now with Black Hole down, the security, the defense of 4 Anchors isn't as strong, and you already see Hellraisers back across the map into 4 Anchors territory. This is where they're going to really look to push the pace. And the DD rune on Afo Ninja, it was promising there for 4 Anchors, but I have a feeling that Hellraisers are going to be able to flip things right back around in a moment's notice.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, my friend. Shadow Fiend, Scotty, quite scary. All of a sudden, he's way tankier, has a double damage rune on, so hitting nice and hard for the next minute or so. They'll scout out the Troll, who does move into the Ancients. Mad Dog with the invisibility rune on. They'll see Kalu charging up across the map. Now the initiation comes out right onto the Troll. Swap back from Venge. There's a Yules, and they will lock him in place. Afa Ninja, not going to channel up the ulti, just hits him with a Scotty, and that's pretty much all they needed. Shadow Rays to finish him off. That'll be the end of the domination streak from the Troll. And the bonus goal goes the way of the Shadow Fiend. Now, Goriettes bumps right into Kalu. Hits him with a silence, starts poking him with those knightly claws. He's already used the darkness. Aghanim Scepter is also upgraded. And nice charge angle across the map. Kalu, oh, he cancels it. Why did he cancel it?
I mean, he was going towards Hellraiser's base. He has no TP. I don't think there's really anywhere for him to go. That all started, he charged towards the top lane.
His TP was only like 5 seconds off cooldown. I think he charged bottom. It looked like the angle he charged was something like that, you know? So he could have gone just like right here. You know, gone this part and then just escaped through the high ground and gone out through the Roche pit. Or even just ran into the tree. Even if he just went a little farther and tried to get stuck in the trees or something over here, could have TP'd out in just another second. I don't know, that was an awkward play. Not really sure what the plan was.
Maybe he spazzed it out too quick. Maybe he used his quick cast and hit the button one too many times.
I like that. Sorry, guys, I spazzed out. That's my bad. I just started smacking the keyboard.
It's the second time this game we've seen abrupt charge cancel, and I obviously am not going to be there in time to see which creep he's charging and what the hell's going on. By the time I even look to guess, he's already canceled it. So
yeah.
You know, it's really hard to tell unless you're in his
I mean,
seat.
both waves were pushing the tier 2 mid and bottom, so he couldn't have been charging too much deeper than that, or else it just wouldn't have made sense. Maybe the creep that he was charging died, and then
he should
there
go
weren't
to the
any
next
others.
creep.
If it was like the last creep in the tower, maybe the tower killed it. I suppose that's possible. But either way, Artez will get initiated on by the Troll. He's turned his back, but this Troll just laying into him. Now the swap out from Mad Dog. Black Hole canceled, does next to nothing. They'll continue to fight Artez, though. Dread nearby, thrown out aphotic shields aplenty. Afa Ninja in the tree line. Requiem does close to full damage on the Troll. He tries to bring out those Whirling Axes, but Afa Ninja stops him right there and gives him a taste of his own medicine. Now 4ASC in full retreat mode. Darkness is live, and they'll just initiate on whoever they can find. They find Boogie. He'll go down first. The Sticky Goose stacked up onto Kalu. He'll try to TP out. There's the Yules, and that's going to cost him his life. A 1 for 3. Even the Eidolon's getting chipped away at as HR take another good fight, and the unstoppable streak continues for one Shadow Fiend.
Dread doing a great job on this at bat. Let me tell you what, he's found plenty of saves, and that Yules has been a great setup, canceling TPs and finding the plays. He's been the Yules for Afo Ninja Shadow Fiend as well. Just a great sidekick overall. Hellraisers just playing top-notch Dota, which many people expected here. Obviously coming in the heavy favorites, but hey, 4 Anchors definitely surprised them a bit with the Spirit Breaker. They got a couple early kills, but they just unfortunately couldn't follow through the same way Hellraisers were able to just still constantly find farm across the map.
Yep, Hellraisers get the tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. They won't finish off the barracks for now. Again, like last game, knowing that they're in the lead, can feel free to sit back, continue farming up, not take unnecessary risk. It's about 10,000 net worth. It's more about 8,000 experience favor for the Dire. Now they move into the Roche pit. The creep died.
I know the TP was on cooldown. I'm going back to that charge while they're taking out Roche uncontested, maybe uncontested, the ally ball here, but some people are anticipating, even though I know at that given charge his TP was on cooldown. Apparently they did fix it where if you tried to charge and TP at the same time, it used to work, but does not work anymore. Maybe he didn't know that was updated a bit.
His TP was definitely still on cooldown. I'm pretty sure the creep just died that he was going for.
That could have been the case for the earlier charge from bottom to mid lane.
Yeah,
but I don't remember at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too far away. Either way, unfortunate for the Space Cow. If that's really what happened, the creep died right as he was charging away. That really stings. Even if it was alive for another second, he might have had a chance to TP out. No. Either way, 4ASC have bigger problems right now. Lina has made a pit stop on Aghanim's Scepter progression and actually picked up the Blink Dagger, so getting a little more mobility, closing in on level 16, but won't find it for this high ground defense. HR, now that they've got the Aegis, they're ready to move on in. It is Artez who's picked up the Aegis, and look, he took heed to my advice, Dakota. He bought a casual cloak. What a guy.
Is that cloak going to be enough? I think it should.
I think it's going to be a big step in the right direction, that's for sure.
Yeah, they move in. It's exposed racks here. You can see just how hard Afo Ninja hits. Yeah, no glyph either to stop it, but Artez happy to soak in the damage from his backside. Meanwhile, the racks will go down because he's being that frontliner and that meat shield. Pipe instantly completed at that same moment. DD swap back save is going to be there. Moving on forward, Afro Ninja could be bursted down. Laguna and Mystic Flare, finally they're able to get a hold of him. Shadow Fiend drops, but here go Hellraisers, bullying back the rest of 4 Anchors into their base. Get in there, you sheep. Back into your pen. Spear Picker makes the charge, but he goes down promptly after. Back from Enigma. Black Hole's still up and at the ready here.
Whoa!
Blink forward. He only gets the 2. Dread can't stun and stop him from doing it. So they're able to finish off that Night Stalker. Charge on forward Dread. Borrow time's going to be popped. Meanwhile, back and behind. Artez.
He still has the Aegis. I don't know. Can he do something here? Dread's nearby. He's going to heal him up as much as he can. They just want the barracks. Can Artez? Is he the hero that they need to clean up this team? There's the Aegis. He's coming back to life. They may just go for the melee barracks. He's getting pinged out. TP's aplenty from the well. They want to make sure Artez does not do anything whatsoever. They lock him down, and HR do get repelled. A huge fight for 4ASC. Buybacks used on both sides. 2 on the Radiant, 1 on the Dire. It will be a good 3,000 net worth swing for the 4 Anchors.
Afo Ninja charged back from the dead. And it's just it's a firm handshake for now. Another strike. Here comes Demphy. Afo Ninja thinks he can go toe-to-toe there, but now he's the one who gets Yules. LSA promptly connects. That Laguna Blade, and it's a solo pick. They take him down and get the job done.
That's a dieback. Wow. 4 Anchors really stepping up their game here in match number 2. Yeah, he bought back at the end of that last fight. It's a dieback for the Shadow Fiend. That really hurts. He's stuck in the grave now for over a minute. I don't know. I think he was probably thinking he could get back in the fight. He has BOTs, so ready just to come down to the action, but I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly frank. It does not seem like an opportune time for a buyback, but this is a minute without the Swagger Fiend, and the 4 Anchors all of a sudden erupting with some momentum. We'll see what they can do to the high ground. They get the tier 3 tower down to about half health, but they won't commit for it quite yet.
I mean, there's a swap back, though. Troll could be locked down, and now he decides to turn back. Maybe making it go into Dread, who does have borrowed time. Not going to be an easy pick. Turns his sights on the Night Stalker instead. The stun and the bash going to be hitting on him. Dread full life there, but they're going to use him on up. Oh, man. 4 Anchors right on the comeback here, going to Hellraisers.
HR, what are you doing? This is not the way you want to make this high ground defense. It's called high ground defense, not run out of the base and take a regular fight. Now they've got to take a 2-on-5 at the high ground. Glyph comes out. The Shadow Fiend's up in about 10 seconds. Abaddon, no buyback available. Night Stalker does have one, but hoping to save it, I think. This is the mid lane of barracks. HR, the throw is real here, Dakota. That was possibly the worst way to try and make that defense possible. Why are they running out onto the high ground to their secret shop when they know they're at a numbers disadvantage and the priority is just defending the barracks?
They still charge themselves out of the base, and they're going to converge once more. BKB going to be popped. Mad Dog's going to be in trouble. Afo Ninja, Requiem for the high ground cancels it. No, gets silenced. Doesn't finish it. Oh, now they focus Artez. If they win a fight here, they might be able to take the game. 4 Anchors on the comeback. Unbelievable. Artez is going to be potentially brought down. Slowed. Please slowly take me away from the base, but he doesn't get too far. Now they turn back, and they're going to go for racks. Now that their big bad bristles down, they don't have to worry about too much.
Backdoor protection helping him out. And now some creeps will come in. They'll be able to finish off the full lane of barracks in the mid as the range go down. Shadow Fiend is still alive here, so he will be able to defend the top lane at least for now. Volix comes in. Black Hole catches 2. Gordietz and Dread will be disabled for now. Gordietz comes out trying to man up on the troll. That's not going to happen. Shadow Fiend channels the Requiem, does a lot of damage. Will Yules himself. Now the Night Stalker buys back after losing that duel. They finally bring down the troll. Now Volix gets picked off as well. Compliments of that Eye of Scotty. And finally, the Hellraisers get it together and repel the 4 anchors from their base. But boy, does it come at a heavy cost. A buyback on the Night Stalker and a mid lane of barracks. This game has been broken wide open, and now it's pretty leveled out.
I mean, if you look at the net worth graph, and I saw a roller coaster that looked like that, that's a ride I don't want to get on. That is a ridiculous dip and then climb right back up. And we are back into 4 anchors territory the first time since, like, what, the 8-minute mark it almost feels like. So maybe a bit of overzealous play there. 4 anchors were able to bring down that tasty Artez Bristol back and felt like maybe at that point they could get more done than what they had already gotten done in that mid lane. But it was enough to force out the buybacks there from Hellraisers, and they do manage to defend, but they are the ones at the disadvantage now. So 4 anchors looking to take this game back. Roche is going to be a tempting treat from both sides.
Yeah, still not up yet, but a fight will break out. Boogie goes cruising on in, gets stunned up straight away. Mystic Flare will be off the mark, compliments of the bash, but the Night Stalker dies. And that's essentially a dieback for him now. In the grave for 75 seconds. Mad Dog on the run, just trying to live. Won't be able to make it happen. Now the rest of HR make it to the party. It's a 5-on-3. Kalu trying to TP out. He will. No stuns left alive. And Alpha Ninja just too slow to the party and won't be able to clean it up. So they get 2 free kills out of that. Then make a sound retreat. That's another 2K net worth going the way of the 4 anchors.
Absolutely crazy. Just what a swing back here. Maybe even as far as base damage goes, but because of the huge momentum and gold swing that 4 anchors got, it just puts them right back on par with some of these item grabs now. Boy, oh boy. So Hellraisers, they might need to wait till they're as 5. Good to go. Stall things out a bit so buybacks could be back off cooldown. And then a potential threat towards the Roche side. But 4 anchors, they're not letting up. They know those buybacks are down. They want to keep fighting. They have confidence in their troll, and he moves on forward. So with that, I don't think 4 anchors want to allow Hellraisers to have the space to kind of relax, breathe, and get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, this troll has gotten huge all of a sudden. He's hitting that point where he's just very difficult to deal with. Still has a 9-second BKB. They'll find the Bristleback, set up from the Yules, right into the Light Strike Array, swap out from Mad Dog. But there's a laser there. Laguna Blade brings down the Bristleback. Mad Dog gets picked off as collateral. And that's another 2-for-0 going the way of 4ASC. They are playing some 5-man Dota right now, and HR are certainly not doing that. They are running around all by their lonesome trying to find farm, and it is really costly. Now, no buybacks available on the Dire. Radiant with 3. Also, Dire without a glyph. Could this be the second lane of barracks to go?
Yeah, Troll's going to have his ult right here. He's going to use it, and they're going to rip right through the racks. Here they go. And now, Hellraisers at a big disadvantage. What an upset this is turning into now for game number 2. What a turnaround. Oh boy, now Gory gets in trouble. Requiem's going to be there. Not a whole lot of damage. They're just trying to divert the attention, at least for 4 anchors, but they're doing a nice, big, impactful kind of 5-man clump. Now your Black Hole could be the turnaround play here if they chase outside of the base. Hellraisers still need to be careful.
Yep. Bristleback up in about 10 seconds. HR will take the fight outside of their base. Again, this might not be the spot you want to fight, but they're going to go for it. Off to the side, they will isolate Lina. Nemphy hit by a few Shadow Razors. Rather tanky, but just not tanky enough. Down he goes. Now Gordietz in some trouble. Black Hole on 2. Swap out from Mad Dog. Keeps Gordietz alive. He's running in for the silence. Gets caught by the Black Hole again. Gets bashed by the Lantern. Now Alpha Ninja in too deep. Trying to bring down Boogie. Finds the kill there, but it will cost him his life as well. HR in trouble. At risk of getting full wiped here as Artez turns his back, tries to man up against the troll, but the lifesteal does more damage than the Quills ever will. TP out from the Spirit Breaker. Whoa, he lives. It's a buyback from the Shadow Fiend again. That's what threw me off there as Alpha Ninja buys back, but again, can't find any kills out of it. Oh my gosh, that is so costly. But Lina bought back in the fray also, so bottom line of the fight is about a break even.
Yeah, Crazy step back there. It felt like Four Anchors was just waiting for the moment to have a turnaround black hole kind of a play. It was there. The swap back saved Night Stalker so he can get in there to cancel the black hole, but by then it might have been too late. Plus the positioning, he actually got caught a bit into the black hole before he could even get the silence off, and well, it ended up being a full duration. But here we go. They're trying to maybe make a swing at Roche. Lena letting him know what's up. Oh, nice blink, and Yules cancels Dread's TP. He's charged up. Spirit Breaker.
He's got a force
staff.
staff
bash. Oh, the force staff. Yeah, he saves him, goes up to the high ground. And now it's Four Anchors looking to go under Roche. They don't quite have enough help here. And Hellraisers are en route. So they second guess it. This is going to be a tension spot now for both sides.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that buyback tab open because there are not too many to go around. 3 available on the Radiant, only 1 available on the Dire. And it is Dread who has the money for it with 2,400 Gs sitting in the bank. For ASC, moving on in though, we'll take a look at Dire Vision, and they see a few of them poking forward in the lane. Vengeful force staff back. Artez moves right into the Roche pit. I feel like HR need to get on the same page here. For ASC are moving all together, charge to lead it off, trying to find the right angle to initiate. Roche actually falling very quickly while 4ASC are doing this ring around the Rosie. They're losing Roche. Radiant Vision totally blind. Roche goes down, secured by the Dire. That will be Aegis and Cheese. Who gets that yummy Gouda? It will be the Bristleback, as Shadow Fiend is the one to grab the second life in the Aegis.
Alright, so for Four Anchors, unfortunately, just not in prime position to put up any sort of contention in that Roche pit. Hellraiser's very happy to get that second win, and at this point, I imagine Four Anchors just need to wait it out. They need to get this black hole back up online. It's got about another 35 seconds till it's at the ready. And then really, who looks to push the pace here? Does Four Anchors look to go right towards the other way of Hellraiser's base while they already have the 2 racks advantage in hopes that they could just finish off the third and get megas? Or do they wait for Hellraisers to use this Aegis now to push the tempo the other side and hope that they kind of misstep?
I think it's 4ASC that go on the back foot here and play a little more defensively. Enigma is amazingly farmed right now. Shiva's Bloodstone to go with the Blink and Mech. No BKB, but frankly just doesn't need it at this stage of the game. And Swap is like the one thing that'll go through BKB regardless, and he's been pretty on point with trying to catch the Venge, or at least position it in a way that Venge can't quite find that swap. BKB down to 7 seconds on the Spirit Breaker. He's invisible, just cruising around, also with a haste rune on. Double runes. Just moving around the map, feeling somewhat immortal right now. But yeah, HR are the ones on the clock. They need to take this last outer tower and start pressing towards the base to try to level things out a little bit. I think 4ASC can sit back and farm, depending on how they feel, looking towards the late game. Troll, Lena, Spirit Breaker versus Shadow Fiend, Night Stalker, Bristle. I'm not sure if either team really has a clear late game advantage. Shadow Fiend scales pretty well, but so does the Troll. Lena doesn't scale too bad, especially now that she's got Ags. That Laguna Blade goes right through BKB. That gives her potential to scale pretty decently also.
I'm still looking over this Enigma. The Bloodstone Shiva's grab, definitely not your norm. They quickly shift back to the base. They see the Hellraisers are pushing down this mid, and they want to make sure they have defenses up. But I wonder if Refresher could have been something considered here for Enigma. I know you're going to have a hard time getting off the solid black hole, even with the BKB with Swap on the other side. But I don't know. I feel like Refresher could have offered up a secondary option there. But with what they got now, he's very big, very beefy. But it looks like Hellraisers are just kind of imposing a little bit of a threat, enough to force Four Anchors back, but then they just quickly go back to their jungle and continue farm.
Yeah, it is an interesting item build from the Enigma. Usually, the Agatims will also be an item that Enigmas consider, if they have this kind of farm, they can start moving into luxury items. It gives you huge damage, and that percent-based damage against these tankier heroes, like your Bristleback, like your Shadow Fiend now that he's got Scotty Manta, that percentage HP actually does a pretty big bit of damage as the game goes on. But, of course, Bloodstone has its own merits. That super fast respawn time, if Enigma gets picked off with 16 charges, he's pretty close, if not already at that instant respawn mark. So he'll be able to get right back into the fight and use that that black hole if he doesn't get that first opportunity. Like you pointed out, Refresher also has its own merits. We'll see what he moves into that for that final luxury item. He can eventually dump the mech and upgrade there as well. So maybe Ag's Refresher is what he has on the horizon as his last few items after the BOTs.
So here we are, game number 1, a domination from Hellraisers. Now game number 2, match point for them in the single elimination. They just need this win here to move on and take out Four Anchors. But Four Anchors, man, pull out one of the biggest turnarounds after already losing a set of racks, get 1, then 2 of their own. And it's just 1 racks away from evening things up. But it's a tall order here. Hellraisers still have that Aegis on hand, and we could look at one huge brawl that can kind of set the stage for the rest of this game. It's just a matter of playing it patiently and finding that right window of time.
Yeah, timing on the Aegis, only about a minute left, so they've already burned through most of it. Looks like HR not even going to make use of this Aegis in particular, not finding a good opening and not feeling comfortable just kind of bum rushing the base. Bristol with 2,500 gold will look towards another core item, and it is the Night Stalker who's closing in on an Assault Cuirass. Has the 2 most expensive pieces and is actually just about there if he wants to complete the purchase, and she blows, he'll have it delivered momentarily. So a big item pickup, of course, for HR, extra minus armor, and will just help beef up everyone as well as the damage output of that Bristleback.
So how much time they got here? I wonder if they're just going to need to eventually move on forward. There's not a big enough window at this point to go across the whole map and push into the 4 Acres base. So you called it right. They're definitely playing it slower here, stalling out for that Aegis to expire, and then it's going to be them, I imagine, looking to swing the other way, go on the offensive. Troll going to be much more farmed now than he was previously and already looking pretty good. He's neck and neck at top net worth right now with Apple Ninja and his Shadow Fiend. He wants to tarnish that record. Apple Ninja coming into this undefeated on his Shadow Fiend, 12-0. 4 Acres want to kind of ruin that.
Yeah, and they're still pretty close to it. Now, the Troll did take over #1 on net worth for a pretty good while. Basically, during that time, they had the Aegis, but HR just used that opportunity to farm up, and Apple Ninja just turbo farming his Shadow Fiend now has kind of reclaimed that first slot, or at least right behind the Troll, nipping at his heels as he clears out more and more neutrals. I have Scotty, Manta, Blink, and BOTs now with 2,700 gold. Curious where the Shadow Fiend will go. I think a Butterfly could be in his near future. Troll, well, could look towards an MKB, but could have a good window where that evasion from the Butterfly does a lot of work.
They're both doing like the same thing. They're holding in reserve that pot of gold. Obviously, you need to have the buyback at the ready, but you don't know what that other core is getting. One of them gets the Butterfly, the other one needs to make sure he's saved up for the MKB. It's a matter of who's going to itemize, who's going to get it, when they need to get it to get this job done. So with that, Tier 2 is going to be dropped on the bottom lane, and, well, Troll's going to be pulling back for now. So this is the moment, man. Zyori, we're ready for a fight. Smoke's going to be popped here. 4 Acres. They might look to go on the offensive now.
Yeah, it's really heating up. Both teams feeling that feeling like this is the time of the game when we should strike. Aegis is gone. We farmed up our core items. From the 4 ASC perspective, there's not too much more they'd want to be waiting for if we're trying to deliver that final blow, the nail in the coffin. Troll, 8-second BKB. I have Scotty now complete. He is pretty damn massive with 2,700 HP. HR will dodge the smoke for now. They've moved around into the bottom lane. I was looking for this ward, then I realized, oh, that's the Night Stalker. All right, he becomes a mobile ward at nighttime once he gets that Ags. So HR with the right idea, just grouped up as 5.
They see him over there.
Abusing that intel. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Oh,
that's
this Night
just so
Stalker.
good. They got to get the hell back. They see Night Stalker. They know that they are seen by Night Stalker, and they need to make sure they're not caught out of position.
Yeah, they're like, if we can see you, we know that you can see us, Mr. Night Stalker.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And here we go. Vision onto the high ground. Boogie gets initiated on. In comes the Troll, whirling axes to get things started. Artez, Force Staff forward. Now the fight begins. Appa Ninja getting focused really hard here. He's going to go down first. Can't even channel a Requiem. They drop the Troll ulti and just bring him down like a sack of bricks. Now the Night Stalker takes a Laguna. Mad Dog and Dread say, hey, let's get the hell out of here, buddy. What do you say? Mad Dog has a BKB. He'll use it to avoid a stun, but that will not be enough to keep him alive. Meanwhile, on the backside, Artez, he's caught inside of a black hole. It's a 4-0, and it's starting to feel like Game 3 maybe on the horizon.
Dude, Troll is such a freaking ridiculous hero. I mean, can I get an amen on that? He just charges in there. It's like, guys, you know what? That's it. We're fighting now. It just turns right into Apple Ninja, slaughters him. He's getting so much life regen sustain that he just goes right back to full life. Now he's chopping on into the base with his ult that's already off cooldown.
Chop that wood.
3 being opposed. Glyph has to come out. Buybacks come out from both big cores on Hellraisers, and that's enough to have 4 Acres step back. They are in control of this game. If they want, they stall out now. Get the Aegis for themselves in hopes that Roche has a small timer, which it does. About 30 more seconds or so, it'll be back up and ready. Hellraisers better hope they can defend this one and take it back.
Well, double Shivas now for 4 ASC. 1 on the Enigma, 1 on the Lina. So going for that big AoE slow, making sure everyone's affected by that attack speed aura. Well, HR, they're throwing it all away here. It's now a 10,000 gold lead the other way. The 4 anchors really in control now. And Roche, this could be the final blow. I think HR, if they manage to get this Roche, they have to fight around the Aegis. Just based on how fast Afaninje died in that last fight, he needs to come back to life and have at least a chance at channeling the Requiem. Although, without a BKB, easier said than done. Radiant's Courier will get picked off here. Thought it had some cargo on it.
Does have 900 of cargo.
Well, apparently not. Oh, that's the Dire Courier. Whoops, I'm an idiot. No, I'm still not seeing it. Okay, well.
This Roche is spawned. Both teams, high tension here. Troll is leading out the front here. He wants to man up. Oh,
that
goes on the Night Stalker.
BKB on. Now goes into Artez, hitting him in the back. Artez alive for now, turns back onto Gordietz. Shadow Fiend channeling the Requiem off to the side, but a lot of BKB targets. Not going to do the damage they were hoping for. Gordietz trying to live as long as he can, but he'll die up on the top side. Afaninje just not doing enough damage. Gets a kill on the Skywrath Mage. Now goes on to Volix. There is no Black Hole, so they'll find a kill that way. Dread tanking Kalu. Will get the borrowed time. That'll keep him alive. Now Shadow Fiend just trying to do the old Kite-a-Rooney as he keeps the Spirit Breaker occupied. Mad Dog moving around in the trees. He'll be alive for now, but looks like he may get locked down. They'll try to TP out. Not going to happen. Buyback from Volix. Is that what happened here? No, he just never died. Oh, Afaninje. He's going to get locked down. HR just tap out. That's it. We're going to a game 3, baby.
We're going to a game 3 on a game that was a 10K net worth plus for Hellraisers with 1 set of racks. And then it just shit hits the fan. I mean, the buyback of Shadow Fiend, very questionable. 4 anchors make a great heads-up play. They charge right up there, and they're like, let's just take him out. He's all alone. They get rid of him. And at that point, they're able to push the pace, and they just hold that momentum they got and take it to the promised land. We're in a 1-1 even matchup now, going into a best of 3, the final match, on a team that had a 80% plus odds advantage. Pretty crazy.
It was almost like watching a different team here in game number 2. 4ASC turning some heads, and I think that discussion in Twitch chat going to be a little different now at the end of game number 2, huh? Who's deserving of what? We'll see if HR can get it together, stop resting on their laurels, and move on to the next round. As we've mentioned a few times, it's a single elim, baby. The first round of the pre-qualifier, there is very little room for error, and now it's coming down to this best of 1. Who will be going home early? Stick around to find out as more Dota 2 action coming up after this break.